The weirdest thing happened when my coworker vanished for 3 months. Dylan was this awkward IT guy who ate the same turkey sandwich for lunch every single day. He'd worked at our software company for 6 years, never missed a day, never took vacation. The guy literally came in during a blizzard when half the city shut down because he said our servers needed monitoring. One Tuesday morning, his desk was just empty. No goodbye email, no phone call, nothing. His coffee mug was still sitting there with yesterday's cold coffee creating a ring on his mousepad. HR said it was a family emergency and wouldn't give details. When Sarah from accounting tried asking for his forwarding address to send a get well card, they completely shut that down. Privacy policies, they kept saying, which was weird because HR usually overshared everything. They wouldn't even confirm if he was coming back or if we should redistribute his projects. His neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, mentioned something strange at the grocery store. She said men in suits came and cleaned out his apartment completely with a moving truck and professional boxes. They even took the carpet, which she thought was bizarre. She watched them work for 6 hours straight, methodical and thorough like they were erasing evidence. 3 months later, Dylan walks back into the office like nothing happened. Same awkward smile, same clothes, sits at his old desk that somehow never got reassigned. In a company that fought over office space, that was suspicious. His nameplate was still there, his extension still worked, like they'd been expecting him back. But something was different the moment he returned. He used to stumble over words constantly. Now he spoke with this weird confidence. When the CEO asked him a question during a meeting, Dylan answered clearly without his usual nervous laugh. He made direct eye contact and his voice didn't shake. His typing completely changed too. Dylan went from hunt and peck to fingers flying across the keyboard without looking. For someone who'd worked in IT for years, he'd always been surprisingly slow at typing. Now he could code faster than our senior developers while carrying on conversations. The way he carried himself was totally different. Before, he'd slouch and avoid eye contact. Now he sat up straight and had this awareness about him, like he was constantly scanning the room for threats. He noticed when people entered and left, memorized who sat where. I finally asked him where he'd been last week. He just smiled and said, Vermont, visiting my sick aunt who needed help with her computer setup. The old Dylan would have launched into an awkward explanation about fiber optic cables. This Dylan kept his answers short and deflected with questions about work projects. That weekend, I was doom scrolling through news articles when something caught my eye. A massive FBI sting operation from 3 months earlier had taken down an international hacking ring. They'd stolen millions from banks across the East Coast in an operation called Digital Dragnet. The timeline matched Dylan's disappearance perfectly. I almost scrolled past until I saw the arrest photo. Federal agents were arresting the mastermind of the operation, Elena Volkov, a 4 or 5-year-old Russian national. It was Dylan's sick aunt, same face, same sharp eyes, definitely not some elderly woman in Vermont. The photo showed her being led away in handcuffs from a warehouse filled with computer equipment. I started connecting dots that made my stomach drop. Dylan's sudden disappearance right when this operation went down, the professional apartment cleaning, HR's weird secrecy, his completely changed personality and skills suddenly made sense. The government had flipped him. The next Monday, I watched him differently and noticed he wasn't just fixing printers anymore. He was observing, taking mental notes of who accessed what systems, who stayed late. When someone from marketing plugged in a USB, a drive they'd found in the parking lot, Dylan appeared within seconds. Let me scan that for viruses first, he said, but I saw him pocket the drive instead. 2 weeks later, I noticed him having quiet conversations with people I'd never seen before. They dressed like consultants but moved like cops, always near exits, always watching. These weren't IT contractors. The person who'd brought that USB drive was quietly escorted out by security an hour later. I realized Dylan had been identifying threats this whole time. Yesterday, someone left a suspicious USB drive on his desk during lunch. I decided to watch what happened next. I watched him accidentally spill coffee on it when he returned. The person who'd placed it there was gone by the end of the day. Security cameras probably caught everything, but Dylan made it look completely natural. Turns out my coworker isn't just Dylan the IT guy anymore. He's Dylan the federal informant, still working undercover to catch hackers. And he's still protecting us all, one accident at a time.